I'm Susie Sernaker. I am the Supervisory Park Ranger for Kingsley Plantation. On the site here we have a number of historic buildings, but we also have a interpretive garden where we grow Sea Island cotton and indigo, which were the two major cash crops of the owners of the plantation. The work could only be done in the high heat of the summer, so there would be 3 major harvests of the indigo to then produce the dye. The plant itself is very much like a weed. It'll grow just about anywhere. The first step would be to cut it with scythes and bring it towards the first vat, which was called a steeper vat. And so they would have filled all of those, added bricks or rocks to keep the material down, and then they would fill the vats with water. And then they would let it just sort of sit for a couple days. The stories go that they would add some urine to that, stale urine to it, to sort of add to the process. I've discovered, actually doing the process myself, you don't need to add urine to it for it to smell like raw sewage. The vats were, for sure, as far away from the main house as possible. I believe Hazard had around 300 enslaved. Problem with indigo was it was very deadly to the enslaved who were working with it. Primarily because of the drying racks. I mean, yes, the vats themselves would attract biting insects and you could get sick from those, but most of the enslaved on indigo plantations had something of like a 5-year survival rate. Particulates are kind of floating in the air. And if you've got, that much floating around and you have to inhale it, but basically like a blue lung instead of black lung like the coal miners. The British government was subsidizing it because the government was using it for an awful lot of blue in the British uniforms, certainly the Navy uniforms. When I first moved here, like I said earlier, my last park was Richmond National Battlefield Park. That was the capital of the Confederacy during the Civil War. We had historic homes. We knew that those owners of those homes had enslaved people. So to come here on my first day of work, come up that dirt road that my boss at the time said to me, it's a little remote, and then to open up and here's this arc of cabins. There were 32 originally. We still have 25 still standing in some form or another. Adds to another facet of dehumanization to slavery. You can come to a place like this and just say, oh wow, what a beautiful place. And we do get a lot of people who say that. But to go on a tour or listen to our audio program and get that interpretive moment is so much more meaningful to people. This is an amazing site.